Hey, you want to be like me? Hip, handsome, young, up to date on which side to part your hair? Well, unfortunately, you can't. But what you can do is to like and subscribe right now, down below. It won't get you like me, but it will get you more of us, and we would really, really appreciate it.
So, with the NBA Finals over and the Golden State Warriors using their winning culture and deep wealth of experience to reignite the once dying embers of their dynasty, it's time to reflect on the NBA season as a whole. And while it's important to give flowers to the true winners of the season, I think it's equally as important to talk about the missteps and bad decisions. And this one is the NBA's equivalent to a catastrophic failure. So, let's talk about it, man. Let's see what's up. Right off the bat, let me admit, when KD first left OKC in July 2016, the first thought my little 21-year-old brain thought about at the time was, well, obviously LeBron need to come back to the Pistons if you want to win again. But then I sat down and settled back into some reality, and my true feeling was, well, that was sorry as hell. Now, that second and much more reasonable reaction wasn't in response to Kevin going to Golden State per se. I didn't care about that too much because honestly, I love to see a good beatdown. What my reaction was in response to, however, was the fact that Durant was leaving the Thunder for a team he could have and honestly should have beaten for the very team they should have and could have beaten. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ray Jr. kid. I mean, hey, Russell Westbrook, he said he should have been drafted. No, I never said that. Because what I said about Russell was he's a Hall of Fame player, but he isn't a winner. And I stand on that to this very day. And so it would be hypocritical of me to be upset with KD for leaving Westbrook for greener grass. But the fact of the matter is, for me, it felt like even with Russ not being the best partner, that KD no longer wanted to compete. It felt like he didn't want to fight his way to a championship. But as the old saying goes, winning cures everything. So fast forward to the 2019 offseason when KD would leave the Warriors for the Brooklyn Nets, I found myself shocked. I figured KD would make his choice with Golden State to continue to win for the far and near future. Leaving for Brooklyn to play with the guy as mentally inconsistent as Kyrie, who might miss a week of games because Mercury is in retrograde, seemed like a foolish choice at best considering the circumstances. The decision seemed destined to fail because of injuries and the latest disease sweeping the nation. The team lost in the first round of 2020, lost in the second round of 2021, and got swept this year. Even when the team traded for James Harden, I never felt like they could do it, and I felt even less convinced when the team would trade him near the end of last season. The Brooklyn decision, from the very start, even without the Warriors' triumphant finals return, would stand as a terrible choice on his own. When KD left the Warriors, people thought it was over for them. Many thought that the magic from the 2015 championship run had run out, and they basically would move over with somebody else to stand up. On the flip side, people thought that once KD and Kyrie got healthy, they'll be in the finals yearly in the East like the Warriors were in the West. As far as the Warriors were concerned, the people were initially right. Plagued by unfortunate and badly timed injuries to Clay and Steph, the Warriors were one of the worst teams in the NBA for about 2 years, and it looked like Durant had timed his exit just right. But then something happened. The Warriors got healthy. They replaced KD with the far inferior but still very good player in Andrew Wiggins and stormed back to the top of the Western Conference while Durant toiled in the basement of the Eastern Conference. Warriors won the NBA Finals in 6 games and hoisted the fourth title while KD barely made the playoffs while going through the play-in tournament to essentially earn the right to be swept by Boston. By any reasonable metric, the Warriors got the last laugh on KD as not only does his future in Brooklyn look murky with Kyrie potentially no longer being in the front office of the Nets' good graces, but also having to now rely on Ben Simmons to even play basketball, which is never a good recipe for sustained success. Kevin Durant is no doubt a Hall of Famer. So, this doesn't necessarily move the needle on that fact, but what it does do is change the answers to a few things. It proves, finally, that KD is not ranked as highly as Steph when it comes to all-time lists. There was a time when many people thought Durant was maybe even better than Steph, and they played together because Kevin got top billing during the finals, and while he might be a better individual player than Steph, basketball is not an individual sport. Team success matters here. For those who disagree, consider this. There aren't 20 players in the NBA better than prime Tracy McGrady. In his playing days, people would often debate between himself and Kobe Bryant for who's the best guard in the league. But his team never even made it out of the first round, and so his name doesn't even get mentioned when talking about the very best players ever. The Warriors versus KD tells us something else too. It tells us that KD versus LeBron argument is nonsense. Even if we don't consider the Warriors, just look at KD's own teammates. You will see something very interesting. Kevin Durant has had Kyrie Irving for 3 years, and the resume says a first-round exit, a conference finals, and a sweep to show for it. LeBron, in his first 3 years with Kyrie, had 3 finals appearances and 1 championship, with a similar team built around the both of them. Leaving Golden State for Brooklyn has been a monumental failure to this point, and it looks like it will continue to be that for the foreseeable future. If Kevin wanted to prove he could have his own team and strive to greatness, it's safe to say he's done the exact opposite. The only thing he's proven is LeBron has, and always will be, a better all-time player. Steph is ranked higher. He needed the Warriors more than they needed him. And that if he doesn't have an overwhelming advantage, he likely won't win the big one. I love his game, but those are the facts today.